What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video, and your boy Doody, he's exhausted, but he's trucking along because he wants to provide the content for his viewers, that sweet DSP content that everyone loves, and of course now even more. Now that the Kino DSP friendship arc is over, that's done. It's over. We now move on to what Saruman said in The Lord of the Rings. What he said was, "To war!" That's right. To war! That's right. Your boy Doody is here to chronicle the upcoming war between DSP and PPP. And the first shots were fired yesterday. And your boy Doody will be streaming today at 9:30. I might have to go like 5 hours just to cover everything that occurred yesterday, but I will do it. So anyway, let's see what Phil had to say on the Daily Wrap.
Of March 2025, a day when I think we can actually all breathe a big sigh of relief, because today is a day that is the end of drama. What I mean by that is the official, nonsensical Kino Casino eventual snaking arc has ended. It is, we saw what happened over the course of the last several weeks to this week.
All right, Doody already got to stop it. He already got to stop it. Doody can't help himself. So first of all, Phil, you claim to be a man of integrity. You claim to be someone who can admit when they're wrong, right? That those are your words, Phil. And of course, Doody doesn't buy that. Doody thinks you're full of shit, and you can't admit when you're wrong because, of course, you do nothing wrong. So, Phil, in keeping with what you just said right now, right, where you just said the drama's over, the eventual funny Kino PPP snaking has occurred. Will you apologize to the detractors? Mainly Doody, to be honest. I mean, I've been for months saying they're going to snake you, Phil. There's videos of me doing commentary regarding this subject, Phil, and I laid out the specifics on what was going to happen, Phil. I told you. I said, look, bro, they're just playing games with you. That's all you are to them. You're nothing but a locale. You're nothing but something to milk. And they were milking you. For these last 6 or 7 months, they were fine with you making money because they just don't care, right? But all you did was just provided entertainment for them. That's what you were. You were essentially content. And what they were hoping to do were they were hoping that you would become their own personal locale, right? And of course, like always, you fight back. You're difficult to work with. You're annoying. And by the way, folks, oh my God, the information that's being dumped out there now by PPP is just chef's kiss, and more to come, folks. That's all Doody has to say. More information will come, and I won't be shocked if there'll be some accidental DM leaks. Who knows? We'll see anyway. But yeah, I mean, I posted a video yesterday of the highlights from the Truth Seekers podcast where PPP just tore this man. I mean, he tore him a new one. He did. That's the kindest way I can say it without getting my video demonetized. Go check it out. I'm gonna link it in this video, and we're definitely gonna talk about it on today's podcast. But the man just buried him, and it looks like he's not done burying him. He is apparently going to make this a weekly episode on Truth Seekers, where he's just going to go in and give us all the tea, all the drama, all the insides between PPP and Phil. That's right. The 4 a.m. drunk tweets, the 4 a.m. emails to PPP, the 4 a.m.s crying his heart out of detractors, complaining about Doody and the other detractors, just complaining and bitching and wanting PPP to fight his battles. I'm pretty sure it's going to come out that he probably asked PPP to send or to have his crew, his viewers, attack detractors. That will be coming out soon, trust me. I'm pretty sure that Phil had requested that. The other thing that came out of there, apparently, Phil, it wasn't that PPP reached out to Phil. It was that Phil reached out to PPP. And for what specifically? To do drama content. And again, to Review Tech USA. That's right. Wow, Phil. I thought you weren't into drama. I thought you were a stand-up guy. I thought you wished the best to others. Don't you follow the biblical teachings of do unto others as you would want to do unto them? So you literally, asking Rich to stop the drama content against you, and yet you're secretly doing it behind his back, trying to recruit bigger content creators to join you in your little crusade to hurt Rich. Is that what you're saying, Phil? So you're not above the fray. You're not above the fray. You're just as pathetic as everyone else. Right, Phil? Just admit it. I don't care that you want to get into drama content, Phil. I don't care that you reached out to PPP and tried to get him on your side to attack detractors and so on. I don't care. What I care about is that you lie about it and you act like a hypocrite. And of course, you are so above the fray when you're not. And the thing is, you're a bigger scumbag than everyone else because you lie about it. You can't even admit it to yourself. At least with PPP, he tells you who he is. At least with Doody, Doody tells you exactly who he is. But not Phil. Phil needs to put this fucking charade on so that he doesn't upset his 3 or 4 dents that support his channel no matter what. Right? The dents that don't like drama. Jade and those folks. Right? Because of course he needs a parachute, because eventually, as he knew that, eventually the bubble was going to break, and he always needed to fall back on those 3 or 4 dents. That's always the case. We had it with the Side Scrollers podcast. Remember the Side Scrollers interview? Phil was going to branch out. He was going to get a whole new influx of viewers. And his chat were concerned. They said, dude, this isn't a good idea. You know what happens when you do this? You end up getting hurt. It hurts the community. He didn't pay attention. He did what he wanted to do, and look how the Side Scrollers podcast turned out. He did the same thing with Kino, right? Or the Mike Klum documentary. His dent said, don't do it, don't do it. And at the very end, he realized, oh, this might not be a good idea, and he dodged the bullet. And then comes the Kino folks. Everyone told him, dude, this isn't going to end well for you. It just is not. No matter what, whether you get some short-lived income or popularity, it is not going to last. You will eventually phase out. You would just fizzle out. And the thing is that you just might not fizzle out. You might make some serious enemies. And Phil doesn't know what's coming to him. He really doesn't. He thinks that this will blow over in a week or two. PPP will get bored and move on to something else. No, that is not going to happen. 2025, Phil, will be the year that PPP makes you his pet project. And Andy Worski jumped in. If you guys aren't following on Twitter, Andy Worski. Remember, Phil, your buddy Andy Worski? Oh, he was a good guy. He defended you no matter what. Yep, nope, he snaked you as well. He basically tweeted out yesterday or last night that thank God he's done pretending that he actually likes you. Oh my Lord. All right, folks. I gotta stop because then I'm not gonna have enough for today's podcast. So definitely tune into the podcast at 9:30. Doody will be going long. It might be a 5-hour podcast. So let's get into it, folks.
The truth has been exposed. Even though not by the person who actually claims to expose truth, but by me. And so we will get back to some normalcy and some good stuff. Not drama, but fun content around here, which is great. Not to say that I was engaged with a lot of drama. That's why it all came to this, quite frankly. I would sit here and explain to you all the full situation, but I explained it all on today's Level 1 podcast. So I strongly recommend you go over there and you watch that show if you want to know what's going on. But in a nutshell, PPP went too far, continued to talk drama, insulting me and my family members. I drew the line and said, stop. He didn't. So I cut him off and said, I'm done with you. And he just basically went nuts today, losing his mind, going completely uncontrolled, acting like a fool, as happens with these people, right? When they lose control of a situation that they thought they fully had control of, they don't. I'm not under anyone's thumb. I never have been, okay? And so, all that being said, today on the podcast, we had a ton of attendance and engagement and all of that. But I left it at that, and I said, I'm not going to insult this guy. We're not going to do anything toxic or negative. Instead, we're just going to move on positively and ignore all the nonsense, despite the fact he texted me threatening DMs on X and said awful things about me on X, and then he went on a show tonight and talked shit about me. I mean, his whole day was about me. Meanwhile, I was just doing my thing, just like I always do, making positive content for the internet, and it went really well. So let's talk about that, shall we? First stream of the day after the podcast was Suikoden 1 Remake. A good 2 hours of content, advancing the plot, going to a whole new area of the map, recruiting a whole bunch of people, rescuing some people in the town that were being attacked by the Imperials, and then heading into the part of the game where it's a plot line between the elves and the dwarves. And we did a lot of content there, and it ended up pretty good. Great stream. We actually hit a goal. So we got the 61 goals hit out of 70, despite the fact we don't even know what the reward is at 70s yet, 70 milestone. We haven't talked about it yet. People are still being supported, which is awesome. Okay? Then, on the late stream, all right, it was very fun because it was solo smart guys, or as you would probably call it from now on, smart guy, because I'm doing the show by myself. I kicked PPP off the show because I've had enough of his toxic bullshit. So because of that, I did it solo. It lasted about 2.5 hours, and we had a good open discussion about the future of the show, the fact that several people are contacting me about being a possible host of the show moving forward, including Ethan, Ralph, and others, okay? But there's been like multiple people contacting me, and the fact that I may be looking for a co-host moving forward, or I might just do a solo. I don't know. Tonight was a test case. Could the show work solo? Will people show up and engage and support with the show? Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I received more support for the show than I've ever gotten before on Smart Guys, okay? Now you might say, well, I don't get it because when you were doing that show with PPP, one night you got like over $600. It's true. But I keep it all now. I'm not splitting it with him, right? None of that nonsense. In addition, when I was splitting it with him, I was giving him 50% while I was paying taxes. So actually, I was making less than him on the show while he was making more. And I felt, well, that's because he's a draw for the show. Well, I hate to say it, after tonight, he wasn't a draw for the show. I was able to maintain that show, run it well, no drama, wrestling commentary. We opened 3 packs of Topps cards together. Nothing really great, but we did actually take a really up-close look at the best card that I have so far, which is this Shinsuke Nakamura. I had the dual camera set up so we could actually go into it and look at it close up like this, but I had it down here at the table. You know, we had everything going. It was a really awesome show. People were having a great time. It went really well. So if anything, what I can tell you, my determination from tonight, although PPP did bring some viewers from Kino Casino, those viewers were there for drama, not for wrestling. The people who were there for wrestling commentary were upset because so much of the show was being wasted on drama. Okay? Well, he wasn't there tonight, and I still made just as much, actually more, doing just wrestling than when he was there to bring the drama. So what does that tell you? It means I can maintain my own and I can do my own shit, and I know what I'm doing, and people like it and support it. Despite the fact that these people seem to think otherwise, I'm still able to maintain the content and do a good job, and people like it. All right? So, Smart Guys is archived over on the DSP Reacts channel, at DSP Reacts. I hope you'll give it a look. It was like...
All right, I'm going to stop you here because I think... All right, the human side, the good Doody. All right, the good part that is Doody feels like he needs to make a public service announcement here, which I know Phil won't pay attention. Phil, if you ever listen to anything I ever have to say, Phil, I would suggest you listen to this. You listen to this. I would suggest you just simply ignore PPP. Ignore him. Don't engage with him. Don't respond to him. Don't do these snarky little comments that you fucking love to do, Phil. Don't bring him up at all. I'm telling you, Phil, he is going to bring the world of pain to you. Ask Review Tech USA how his 2024 has been going and his 2025 has been going because of this one man, PPP. Because for some reason, PPP got a bug about Rich. Ask him how he's doing, bro. And you, of all people, the man that drinks, the man that has a gambling addiction, the man with anxiety, the man with the OCD, you think you can handle this, Phil? Because you've been doing it for whatever 16 years or 17 years? Bro, I'm telling you right now, Phil, do you think detractors now fuck with you? You haven't seen shit, Phil. You really haven't seen shit, bro. And yesterday was just a show with the Truth Seekers, who gets about 300 or 400 people on his stream. He got over 4,000 viewers at peak yesterday, and that wasn't even the vast majority of the Kino Casino crew, bro. And he's planning to do this every week going forward with him during your Smart Guys show. So what's going to happen is, yeah, you got the initial boost because OIZ came out and dropped some serious cash. That was the only reason. You got zero support from the fucking kick dents. They're gone, Phil. They're gone. Trust me. Once PPP and Kino Casino start talking and they rally their troops out and they find out what you did, bro, all that's going to drive the fuck up. You might as well just stop streaming that kick. You might as well just stop that because you're just going to get harassed, Phil. So if you've ever if you seriously, Phil, the good man that is Doody, that feels has a conscience towards you, That would be my recommendation to you. Now, Detractor Duty says, keep doing it, bro. Keep fucking egging him on, bro. Engage with him. Talk smack. Keep sneak dissing him. Because all you're doing, bro, is giving the detractors nothing but content, bro. And I fucking love it, bro. I love it. I love it. You think you're going to have fucking drama with just PPP? No, you're going to have drama with PPP. You're going to have drama with Locale Live. And I'll drop some information about Locale Live later on, folks. Doody has the scoop on that. Locale Live. You think Ethan Ralph's going to save you? You think bringing Ethan Ralph to your fucking podcast is going to save you, bro? You're playing with fire, Phil. You're playing with something extremely flammable. And you are going to get burned. All right? That's all I'm going to say, Phil. That's all I'm going to say. Because you never know, bro. Those little DMs between you and PPP, they might get leaked. You know, you never know, bro. People on the internet are smart. And there's always hacking. And there's always data dumps that occur. Bro. I'm trying to help you out, Phil. So if you don't want to take my suggestion, cool. If you want to take my suggestion, cool. Either way, Doody wins. Alrighty, folks. Don't forget I'll be there at 9:30. It'll be fire today. Peace out.